Hello and welcome back to Healthy Spouse, Healthy House. My name is Tony and my channel focuses on health, wellness, and relationships. I believe that there are 15 different areas of health that any one person can work on at any point in time in their lives. So each week, I ask you to join me as I introduce, define, and discuss each one of those areas of health. And then in the end, we make plans and we make goals so that we can become healthier in those areas. So, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me in this video as I continue the conversation on racial health. Now, this video is titled Racial Health Systems, Stereotypes and Symptoms Part 2. But please go and check out part 1 because I covered systems in that video, and I mean, it's just chock full of information and just my thoughts and ideas on the matter and, you know, as it pertains to racial health. So anyway, today we'll finish up our talk or our conversation on racial health, and we're going to go into stereotypes and symptoms. But just like in my last video, we're going to define race and racism because knowing those definitions will help you to understand the idea and the concept and the definition of racial health. Okay, so race is groups that humans are divided into based on physical traits regarded as common among people of shared ancestry. It's the physical and biological traits passed on through generations. So that's race. Now let's define racism. So racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. And it's typically a group that's a minority or that's marginalized, right? So also, racism includes systems that consist of structures, policies, practices, norms, and beliefs that assign value and determine opportunity based on the way a person looks or the color of their skin. So now that we've defined race and racism, let's now go into racial health. So racial health is simply put, void of racism. So all of those words that I use to define racism, right? We want to be void of all of that. That's what we want to be. If we want to obtain and maintain racial health, we have to be void of racism. And then on top of that, we have to have or begin to have a positive racial identity. So, and that's for us to do personally. That's for us to do for ourselves, right? Is to have a positive racial identity, you know, and sometimes it can be hard in the world that we live in and the things that we see to grasp the idea of having a positive racial identity. But when I tell you it's necessary for racial health, it's necessary for racial health and your overall health. So now let's get deeper into our video and let's talk about stereotypes, guys. And we know what stereotypes are. They are generalized beliefs about a group or people. It's a widely held but fixed image or belief or idea of a particular type of person that's held by a number of people, right? We know that's what stereotypes are. And why are they so bad? Why are they so bad? Because, you know, we can think about a lot of other stereotypes. It's like, well, you know, that's not so bad, you know, to think that. But so stereotypes are mostly negative and they're mostly harmful. Stereotypes contribute to misconceptions about and the inequality among groups because they reduce an individual or collective experiences to a few characteristics that do not apply to everyone within that group. Pretty much, or essentially saying, oh, everybody in that group or everybody of that race is like this, and that cannot be any further from the truth, no matter what racial group you belong to. So also, stereotypes can lead to discrimination and even violence. Different things that certain groups, because they are a part of a certain race, is or whatever is known for. Now you come and attack or target other people of that race because of an experience that you've had or someone you've known have had. And on the flip side, even positive or neutral stereotypes can still be harmful because it creates like this preconceived notion or preconceived ideas or expectations for people that they may not meet. Or it can make a person feel reduced to those stereotypical traits. Like that's all that they're good for. Oh, well, and like, okay, like growing up, y'all know how, in school or whatever, growing up, you wanted certain people in your group, when you had certain projects, you wanted a certain type of race in your group so that you can get the A that you want to get or whatever in those group projects. And then, so let's say, for instance, that's in science. And then you go into gym class or whatever. And y'all, please forgive me. My kids are always like a point of reference. But anyway, so then you go into gym or whatever. And you're like, oh, yeah, I know what kind of person I want on my basketball team or whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying? Because they're known for being great athletes or being great at basketball or whatever. And then you have certain groups where you're like, you're stereotyping these particular groups or particular races to be this way because that's what you've seen or whatever, or, that was your own experience. And, that's unfair. That's unfair. But what causes us, y'all, to have these stereotypical thoughts? What causes us to have these racist thoughts or these racist moments or whatever? And that's where we're going to get into our last point of the video, which is symptoms. And so we know that our country was built on a lot of these racist ideologies and thoughts and misconceptions and as we all know, it can take a while for us to get to a point where there is more equality. But so anyway, even science has supported the idea of racist ideologies. There were many scientists in our history books that have even put human beings into groups like they do animals and plants and things, classifying different people, different races as inferior because of the color of their skin, but trying to find other means to solidify what they believe is true. So those types of things, no. So science, because of who was in charge, has supported some of those ideologies. And then you have even like discriminatory policies that we have, like, like I've mentioned before, the Jim Crow laws or redlining, and that was something that was done to as concerning the housing markets and stuff like that. And some of that is still going on today. So a lot of like the discriminatory policies and things like that can let you know that we're still dealing with a lot of these issues that we're having. Also representation in media. we're doing better. We're getting better. Having different types of people, in media, and representing different races. So that's getting better. But just imagine how it was, even when I was a kid. Like, so that too. So that's a symptom that we have, some issues here. Also, not acknowledging that it exists. We know that racism exists. We need to acknowledge it, and it exists on a larger scale. And we also need to make sure that we're acknowledging that, especially if we have issues, that we need to check ourselves and make sure we don't have any issues or racist issues within ourselves. Also, we need to check who we're hanging around. All of these things influences us. All of these things, the media, different policies that were put into place, things that we're learning, all of that stuff influences us, and we have to be careful what we even allow ourselves to watch, to read, to hear, all of those things. So I hope you understand the concept of racial health as it pertains to me, But so anyway, let me know what you think about this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever. And I'll see you in the next one. And thank you for going on this journey with me. Let me know what your thoughts are. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.